Happy Friday. Welcome to the program, the Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV from the Rio Grande Valley of Texas. Let me go back to some of these pages. So the big news for us, and I say us, you guys in the business world, exporters, importers, customs brokers, everybody around here watching the news to see what the high court has to say about the emergency tariff powers that President Trump has been using. Let me just make sure. As soon as we hear from, see, today, like right now, the high court in D.C. is going to be releasing some of the opinions that they put together on some of the testimony they heard recently. The whole emergency tariff power issue used by President Trump as a negotiating tool. He's been using it as a stick. Forget the carrot side. He said, well, let's do a little bit of carrots, and you guys open up your markets at a low tariff. We'll open up ours at a small tariff. Otherwise, I'm going to slap you. I'm going to use the stick on you, and we'll be charging you high tariffs if you don't conform to what President Trump would say is a national security issue, national security concern. So the high court is going to be should be providing a decision on that. Might be providing a decision on that, because that was one of the issues that actually got a testimony at the high court a few weeks back. So we're pending that. As soon as we hear it, Freddie, if you see it, especially check the cable channels. See, everybody's busy right now in Minnesota with a press conference taking place with that potty mouth man-child mayor they have up there who was telling ICE to get the bleep out of town after that protester was shot dead. That woman who, according to her family and her family telling the media, she shouldn't have been there. She got 3 kids. She had no business being there, but she got in the way, blocked, and we know what happened. She's dead now. Her vehicle actually did strike the ICE officer, the ICE agent. You can clearly see it on the other side. He hit his leg. And good thing there was ice on the road, because if she had traction, man, maybe that guy would be without legs. Maybe with his life, but without legs today. Anyway, they're all busy right now because the man-child mayor, Jacob Fry, in Minneapolis, this petulant kid, he's out there telling ICE to leave town. But the big story for us is from the U.S. Supreme Court. Let's see what they say about the emergency tariff powers that President Trump has been using. In the meantime, I have a friend in the studio who's showing up just in time, and I say this because the cold air is finally arriving in South Texas. Right? And turn on his mic, Freddie. You can also join us live at 710 KURV, YouTube Live, and X, and Facebook Live. You can see our friend Jonathan Bernard with Big Red's Ranch, and on the 17th.
Yes, sir.
17th and 18th,
and 24th and 25th.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's get some cold air down here to actually celebrate Christmas, and it feels like Christmas.
Yeah, it's perfect timing, right? Like we planned it.
Yeah, in Rio Hondo.
Yes.
What's the name of the stadium out there?
Stadium 4319. So this is a new event venue that Valley Baptist Mission Education Center bought about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and we're renovating it into just a great place to host events. Very excited about it. At first, when they were buying it, I was like, why are they buying this? But now I see it as just a wonderful opportunity to host great events for the Rio Grande Valley. We want to do Christian concerts there. We want to do sporting events, obviously, 5K runs, all kinds of different activities and are available. But the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do Christmas in January. I know the holidays are already over, and it's like, what are we doing? But it's going to be fun.
Some of us, and I'm in that clan. I hang on to Christmas as long as I can.
Yes.
And I obsessively, I remind people, hey, don't forget the tradition that the 25th of December is day one of Christmas. It doesn't end until January 6th, day of Epiphany, the wise men and the three kings and all the, it doesn't end until January 6th. So I wish we could get into the habit of celebrating actual 12 days of Christmas. Every day we get new gifts or something like that. That would be nice.
Well, and really, this is a celebration of new beginnings. It's a new beginning for Big Red's Ranch. We had closed in May, and we're trying to reopen our camps and everything we we were hosting about 600 kids this summer for camp, and we had to close last summer, but we're hoping to reopen this summer. So it's a celebration of new beginnings in that way. And I mean, honestly, Christmas is a celebration of new beginnings, a new, here at the new year, but Jesus's birth was a new beginning.
Jonathan Bernard with Big Red's Ranch, hoping to, with this big fundraiser, the celebration of Christmas in January, that's taking place at Stadium 4319 in Rio Hondo, Texas.
Yes, sir.
On January 17th and 18th, January 24th and 25th. What time does all the celebration start? And tell me about the long list of all the fun, all the different things that
Sure, yeah. So it's going to start 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Each of those days. You can find tickets at stadium4319.com or bigredsranch.com. And we have a ton of really fun things. So we just got a sponsorship, actually, the Rua Foundation, Liliana and Raul Gonzalez. They're sponsoring Jurassic RGV is going to be there. So they're going to do 3 shows a night, 4:30, 5:30, and 6:10. We've got 12 plus carnival rides. The carnival rides are already coming in, and they're wonderful. So there's stuff for young kids, really young. And then for older kids, it's a blast. I did it with my son and daughter-in-law the other day. We've got lots of great food. I'm telling you, corn dogs and brisket potatoes.
Carnival style.
Yeah, definitely. Hay rides, horse-drawn carriage rides.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun.
There's an announcement that you hear on KURV. Pay attention to it. Again, put it on your calendar. Take the kids, 4 p.m. every day that they celebrate Christmas in January at Stadium 4319 in Rio Hondo. This is a fundraiser to kickstart these camps, these kids camps in spring break, in the summer, for Big Red's Ranch to, again, host these Christian camps for the Huerquillos, for the kids in the area. It's a fundraiser. So you got carnivals, you got the carnival food as well. And you hear Jonathan in the announcement that plays on KURV. The one that got my attention was that you could take a sledgehammer and beat up a car, right?
That is true. That is true. That's one of our most popular activities. Man. And, actually, I'm donating my old truck. So it's 20 years old. I've had it, or it's actually 25 years old. I've had it for 20 years. And it's got 350,000 miles on it. And we're going to beat that thing down there.
Oh, man. So what, do you provide the sledgehammers to beat up the truck?
Big sledgehammers and small sledgehammers, 3 hits per person.
Okay.
We have to limit it.
Okay, so it's like a piñata then. Only 3.
Yeah.
I'm imagining no candy comes out of it. If you hit it. Sorry, it's just like
maybe
stress.
A little oil.
Stress relief. Oh, God forbid. Yeah. We'll try to take all the dangerous fluids out of there. Make sure we don't have a situation. No. But yeah, that's part of it. It's like you take a sledgehammer, take 3 swings at that old truck, and maybe it'll be a stress reliever for you. It's just some of the fun.
Oh, definitely.
Carnival fun, hay rides, all those things. It is Christmas in January. It's a major fundraiser for Big Red's Ranch and the summer camps that they hope to restart with your help. So make plans to be there. Put it on the calendar. It's on January 17th and 18th, Saturday and Sunday, 4 p.m., and also January 24th and 25th, 4 p.m. each day, with all the food, all the fun, all the rides, and Christmas, and the hot cocoa and all those wonderful things as well.
And one thing that we are going to add is a walk through Christmas light area and some photo opportunities. A lot of people love to get those photos and everything. So I actually have some young people that are working on some really creative, fun backgrounds. So we're trying to create like a winter wonderland there at the stadium.
Very nice, very nice. So tell me about the camps again, because all of what you're doing here is a major undertaking to try to help start those camps again. So again, what's the camp experience like? What do the kids do? And
so I'll start with I grew up here in the Valley, and my parents for 40 years talked about wanting to start. They were volunteer youth pastors at our church, and they wanted to start a camp and ranch for families and kids. And I remember I used to work in Colorado. My wife and I were children's pastors there, and one of the guys asked me, if you could do anything, what would you do? And I said, I would want to fulfill my parents' dream to start a ranch and camp for families and kids. And he said, oh, yeah, you should do that here in Colorado. And I said, no, I want to do it in the Valley. Colorado, you throw a rock, you hit 5 camps. But here, we just don't have a lot of camps. And we have a few now, actually, since we started. There's been actually a few. But we really, we're partnering with Valley Baptist, and we want to really establish at least 2 good Christian campgrounds that are serving all the kids here in the Valley.
Okay. Are you looking for underwriters, maybe supporters for the camps themselves? Do you, any other way that folks can help you? Maybe a website and say, you know what, I like to support this effort to give South Texas kids this Christian camp experience.
Yeah.
Stay home.
So we have, we've had some really large donors and then some smaller donors. In fact, right now we've been really doing a campaign to get Big Red, what we call founders. People are helping us to establish our campground. And so you can do that on our website, bigredsranch.com. You can find a monthly donor. We ask, it's a $5 or more a month is a founder, is what we consider a founder. And so right now we have close to 100 founders. I want to have 1,000 founders who are giving at least $5 a month. And then we have the other donors who have come alongside throughout the years and will sponsor an entire camp so that we can provide scholarships for those camps. And so we've really seen the community of the Rio Grande Valley come and support us and help us with this mission. And that's how we've been able to host 600 kids a summer.
Jonathan Bernard with Big Red's Ranch. Again, we're celebrating Christmas with cold air. Hopefully cold air. Like, we got some for next week, right? Hopefully with nice cold air, so the cocoa.
It'll feel like Christmas.
Yeah, it's a lot more delicious. And everybody can actually run around with jackets and windbreakers.
And hot chocolate.
And hot chocolate. That's at Stadium 4319 in Rio Hondo, Texas. Hope to see you there 4 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, and January 17th and 18th. And then Saturday and Sunday, and January 24th and 25th. And get ready to spend a lot for an awesome cause. All these Christian camps that Big Red's Ranch will be restarting this year, Lord willing, as early as a spring break.
Yeah, so that camp is actually for teens in foster care. We've been partnering with an organization called Blue Sunday, and they're wonderful people.
Love them.
Yes. And so we've been doing that camp for several years, and so we're hoping that'll be our first camp to do again. And that's part of our mission. Our mission is fighting for the fatherless, and so serving those kids that don't have a dad involved in their life.
Website again?
BigRedsRanch.com and Stadium4319.com.
Stadium4319.com. And the other one is pretty easy because, all the extra caffeine and sugar, Big Red, just think of that, right?
Yeah.
Big Red's possessive, apostrophe S, or
yes.
Right? So BigRedsRanch.com as well.
Correct.
Come back and see us for Lord willing, next week. And then the week after that, come back. Remind folks, because we got, again, the fundraiser is over 2 weekends. The first one is the 17th and 18th, Saturday and Sunday, 4 p.m. Then the next one is 24th and 25th.
That'd be wonderful.
4 p.m. All right. Thanks for stopping by, brother.
Thank you so much. It's great being here.
That's Jonathan Bernard with Big Red's Ranch. Time is 9:21. The Sergio Show on Newstalk 710 KURV. This hour of the program is service of Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing, ChamberlainLTD.com.
It's Westwood One's coverage of the NFL Wild Card Weekend. Tune in for a Sunday triple header, beginning with the Bills at the Jaguars. Coverage begins at 11:30, powered by McKellen Bolt and News Talk 710 KURV.
Illegal aliens engaged in welfare fraud. Politicians lining their own pockets. Too many crooks stealing from the taxpayers. Republican Don Huffines says enough. As Texas Comptroller, Don Huffines will doge waste, fraud, and abuse and put the crooks who steal our tax dollars in jail where they belong. Don Huffines is a conservative businessman, and he'll bring a private sector mindset to state government. He will aggressively audit every government program, and Don Huffines will eliminate all taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens and abolish every DEI program in every government agency in Texas. Because Don Huffines is determined to stop politicians from wasting our money. Vote MAGA Trump Republican Don Huffines for Comptroller.
Political ad paid for by the Don Huffines campaign. It's Truck Month, and we're making big deals, saving customers thousands. Get a new 2025 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Crew Cab for $36,995 or $26,995 for a new 2025 Chevrolet Colorado Crew Cab at Payne West Lico Chevrolet and PayneGM.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Locate to get us regardless.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez. Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk 710 KURV, KURV.com, and live on Facebook.
Time is 9:24. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. This radio station is the only radio station in all of the Valley for the AFC and NFC play-by-play. So tomorrow we got the Rams and the Panthers at 3 p.m. Then we got the Packers and the Bears at what time is the pack? At 7 p.m. Sunday. It's the Bills and the Jaguars. I need to say that one right. Jaguars. And let's see. Then the 49ers taking on the Eagles in the afternoon, 3:15. And then America's team, the Patriots. That's right, America's team, the Patriots, against the Chargers. That's the nighttime engagement, 7 p.m. All these broadcasts on 710 KURV, made possible by our friend Cesar, who, by the way, I had a conversation with him yesterday. We'll share that and post that here pretty soon. He was able to give me all the predictions on all these matchups this weekend, including Monday night, which is the Texans. That broadcast will be the Houston Texans radio network here on 710 KURV at around 6:30, I think Freddie said, 6:30 broadcast. So it's the Texans against the Steelers. That's Monday night. So I'll have that conversation with Cesar Aguirre from McAllen, both coming up in just a little bit. We'll get a preview of all these games. The Sergio Show on 710 KURV, made possible this hour by Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. We have several folks in international trade, some folks that are importing, also friends and who are brokers, and they're into customs broker business. Around here, we're waiting to hear what the U.S. Supreme Court has to say about the emergency powers, the trade, the tariff powers President Trump has been using. Kind of stopped that recently. I guess he's been looking for Plan B. Waiting to hear what the U.S. Supreme Court has to say. Jessica Rosenthal for Fox News is covering this. And I'm guessing as what today might be the day they turn on the lights again over at the High Court. We might hear a decision on this as early as what, today, Jessica?
It's true. We're waiting to see. We've got a bunch of cases we're keeping an eye on, but yeah, that's the big one, right? Because this is whether or not the president can use the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to enact tariffs. As you might recall from arguments, this was a bit of a tough one for the Trump administration. Even some of the conservative justices wondering, is this essentially a tax? And if so, powers of taxation belong to Congress. You can imagine the implications here. You just referenced them. If the president's tariffs are struck down, he maintains they're a national security issue, that he can literally stop wars with the threat of tariffs. Administration officials, you're right, have said they are looking at workarounds in case this does not come down in their favor to enact tariffs under a different authority. But the president's acknowledged that wouldn't give him the ability to act as quickly as he's been able to with these emergency powers tariffs. And we're looking at retaliatory tariffs and also the tariffs imposed because of like fentanyl and drug trafficking. There are other tariffs under other sections. Those will remain, but these would be obviously dramatically impacted. We're also watching two other cases, though, one about executive branch power colliding with the power of independent agencies. The president tried to fire the FTC commissioner, Lisa Slaughter, and she sued. She said you can only do that for cause. This ended up before the court with the Trump administration's attorneys, arguing that independence, the agency power has just grown and has become unchecked. Some of the conservative justices seem to be open to that argument, while the more liberal-leaning justices were concerned about executive power.
Okay.
And the other big one, it has to do with redistricting. This is really big because depending on how this goes, a lot of southern states could redraw their maps yet again. This is Louisiana versus Calais. Some Black voters had challenged Louisiana's map for having only one district, and they said it violated Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. So some lower court rulings said you got to redo it, and the state did, to have 2 Black districts. Then a different group of voters came and sued and said, wait, you can't remedy a violation of the Section 2 Voting Rights Act with a racial gerrymander.
Yeah.
So that was before the court. And if they side with the plaintiffs there, we could see redraws in a lot of different states, especially in the South. We have a couple of other cases we're watching: the birthright citizenship case, the cases out of Idaho and West Virginia having to do with transgender women and girls playing in sports. But we haven't even actually heard arguments yet in those cases. The transgender arguments are happening next week, and birthright citizenship on the merits, that will be heard, arguments will be heard in the spring. So we anticipate getting rulings, but not today because those arguments haven't been heard.
Hey, let me go back to what you were referring, that Louisiana case on gerrymandering. You had mentioned that you suspected, or you heard that perhaps the court might side with individuals who wish to redraw based on race, or was it the opposite of that? Because up till now, you can redraw based on party affiliation. That's it, on politics, but not race. So,
right, but so it's tricky, right? Because there are parameters that allow for race to be recognized insofar as minority representation. There are some high bars, some high thresholds to meet when you do that. For example, in Alabama, there was a case in 2021 that got argued, and Chief Justice Roberts and Justice Kavanaugh sided with the more liberal justices and said, you know what, the threshold's been met here. Y'all do need another Black majority district. And so, but in this case, that was 4 years ago. In this case, Chief Justice Roberts asked, wait a second, does Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act just exist in perpetuity? Are there ever any limits? Is it time to stop with this sort of recognition of redrawing maps or drawing maps to prefer or favor a racial minority?
Yeah.
So Justice Kavanaugh and Justice Roberts seem to be, while they backed the Alabama decision 4 years ago and said, yeah, you have to redraw, it sounded like in this case they were reconsidering that. And so really, not to be cliche, but all eyes are on those two justices to see what will they decide in this case. Is it time to stop with certain aspects of Section 2? Is it time to narrow it or tailor it to limit the ability of drawing maps in favor of certain minority representation? But yes, you for example, the liberal justices said, wait a second, there is still a lot of racial polarization in voting, and Section 2 remains very viable. We need to consider that. So it'll be really interesting.
Show the evidence.
It could really change things.
Show the torch. Show the grievances. Show the that's just a bunch of bull. I mean, this is nothing but political affirmative action. That's just me talking. That's not my friend Jess. Jess is just reporting right now. Jessica Rosenthal for Fox News on the pending decisions from the high court. So it's my understanding that today, boy, I like this work week, right? 1 day work week for them. They start on Friday. So the high court is, they're holding, I think.
Actually, it's not even a work day for them. They just released the opinion.
Oh, okay. So it's an opinion session. Yeah, an opinion session.
Yeah.
At 9:00, they're going to announce some of the decisions they've made. So and because the emergency tariff use by the White House, that got a hearing. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll hear today whether the president is told, no, you can't be, this is a tax. You can't be doing that. Or, well, yeah, go ahead, sir. Yeah, you're doing it for national security reasons, whatever the arguments were. That's pretty much it for now, right? As far as the major decisions for the high court that might come today?
Yeah, because there are two other cases, like I said, the birthright citizenship and the transgender issue, that those are arguments that haven't been heard yet. Also, there are two Second Amendment related cases But those arguments haven't been heard yet either.
All right.
So we anticipate a lot of decisions on cases in which we have not even heard arguments yet by the end of July.
All right. Jessica, thank you for your report. Jessica Rosenthal for Fox News. The time is 9:33. You will likely hear in a couple of minutes from the Fox News update some of the comments from what I've been referring to as the man-child, capricious, petulant, a young mayor from Minneapolis. Well, he looks young. He's kind of scruffy looking this morning, but using four-letter expletives, trying to kick out ICE, saying it's bad for safety, bad for democracy in Minneapolis. Yeah, not taking a look at all the criminal aliens that need to be kicked out of his community. But that's what they deserve in Minneapolis. They voted this idiot into office. So anyways, the press conference is still taking place. I can tell you, though, that there will be no decision on the tariff issue, the emergency tariff used by President Trump. This note from D.C., the Supreme Court has not yet ruled on the legality of President Trump's global tariffs. There might not be a decision released today. That was like the top bill. If they were to release something, it should have been released like 35 minutes ago when they opened up for business for some of these decisions. So just stay tuned. Maybe they shift gears and say, oh, we forgot to, lead with the right foot this time. So no decision yet from the High Court on the emergency tariff powers used by President Trump. News and information you need to know. This is News Talk 710 KURV. This is the Sergio Show. Thank you to Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing for this hour of the program.
Illegal aliens engaged in welfare fraud. Politicians lining their own pockets. Too many crooks stealing from the taxpayers. Republican Don Huffines says enough. As Texas Comptroller, Don Huffines will doge waste, fraud, and abuse and put the crooks who steal our tax dollars in jail where they belong. Don Huffines is a conservative businessman, and he'll bring a private sector mindset to state government. He will aggressively audit every government program, and Don Huffines will eliminate all taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens and abolish every DEI program in every government agency in Texas. Because Don Huffines is determined to stop politicians from wasting our money. Vote MAGA Trump Republican Don Huffines for Comptroller.
Political ad paid for by the Don Huffines campaign.
December can be so busy that we do not get to slow down and fully enjoy Christmas. We are inviting you to join us January 17th, 18th, 24th, or 25th to experience the peace of January and the beauty of Christmas. At Christmas in January, you'll be greeted by Christmas music, go on a hayride, eat some fun food, ride 12-plus carnival rides, shop 50-plus local vendors, participate in a snowball fight, go on a horse or pony ride, drink some hot chocolate, bash a car with a sledgehammer, and watch a Christmas light show synchronized to music with a message of hope. For more information, go to stadium4319.com or bigredsranch.com. This event will be held in Rio Hondo, Texas at Stadium 4319, a new event venue here in the RGV. Big Red's Ranch staff will be hosting Christmas in January, and all proceeds go towards summer camps for kids. Again, visit bigredsranch.com for more details.
Do you know what's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide? If you guessed Discover, you guessed right, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Fox News, I'm Lillian Wu. The Supreme Court out with its first ruling of the year involving a 2008 attack on an armored car. Justices have till June to weigh in on one of the most closely watched cases before the High Court, a challenge to the legality of President Trump's global tariffs.
Revlon, Goodyear, and Costco were among the companies suing to stop President Trump's tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. If they win, they could be in line for billions of dollars in refunds. Justice Amy Coney Barrett asked the plaintiff attorney Neil Katyal about how that would all work during arguments back in November. Katyal said they could tailor a decision to give refunds to only the plaintiffs involved in the case.
That's Fox's Jessica Rosenthal.
The Tax Foundation says roughly $200 billion were raised in tariff revenues last year.
And the U.S. military intercepting a fifth sanctioned oil tanker in the Caribbean Sea. America's listening to Fox News.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast. Quite warm this afternoon with filtered sunshine and highs in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Increasing clouds tonight, turning breezy late, lows in the low to mid 60s. Not much of a rebound Saturday. It'll be cloudy, windy, and cooler. The high in the upper 60s near 70 degrees. Cloudy and cooler still Sunday with highs in the low to mid 60s. A mix of sun and clouds Monday and highs in the mid 60s. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez. Rapid fire headlines.
Shall I use the breaking news sounder from Rush? Ready on this one? Sean Diddy Combs will need to stay in jail. Gonna have to cool his heels in the hoosgow. He will have to serve out his prison sentence after all. President Trump told the New York Times that P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs, whatever, I don't know what's his real name, Fred? What's this dude's name? It's Sean Combs, isn't it? Right? Because it's Sean Diddy Combs, right? For his conviction, yeah, he'll need to stay in jail. President Trump telling the New York Times he's not going to provide a pardon. Some of y'all going, what? Who is this Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Sean? If you don't know who he is, you are a much better human being than I am. I'm playing with the lead story right now. Let's go to some real news. Check this out. President Trump is threatening land strikes on drug cartels. And Mexico might be a target. In an interview with another Sean, this time Sean Hannity from Fox News, Sean should play up his name just to become relevant to a newer generation, like Sean Puff Hannity or something like that. Puff Sean Hannity, right? Sean Hannity, Fox News, President Trump speaking with him said, the president said that the U.S. had knocked out 97% of the drugs coming out of Venezuela by water. And now they're thinking about hitting land targets, production facilities for cocaine and other nasty drugs. Hit the cartels, he says. He then went on to say that the cartels are running Mexico. And it's very sad to watch to see what's happening in that country, the president's words. He did not provide any other details on maybe some land strikes against the cartels. Illinois Congresswoman saying that she plans to file articles of impeachment today against Homeland Security Chief Kristi Noem. Okay, enough of the desfile de los pen. Let's see. Authorities in Iran, important international information you should know. Authorities in Iran are cutting telephone lines and internet access as they're suffering severe economic conditions, and all this is fueling angry and fiery protests across Iran. There is a complete internet shutdown that was imposed by the mullahs in Tehran. They shut down Tehran and other cities from internet access as there are calls for massive protests. They went out on Thursday online. That's how people communicated with each other. Videos of the protests showing demonstrators, Iranians, blocking roads and setting fires, and some in the crowd calling for the removal of the religious leader Ayatollah Khamenei in Iran. May the Lord help him. My goodness. Which, by the way, President Trump has chimed in and said, you better not be killing your people. I'm ready, locked and loaded. Fire back if you kill your people in these protests. Time is 9:42. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV, made possible this hour by Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. Hop, skip away from Minnesota. He is my friend Jeff Manasso in the Chicago area, looking at all that news coming out of Minneapolis and the protest, deadly protest for one woman who got in the way of ICE and, of course, fraud investigations. They're addressing that in Washington with an assistant, a prosecutor or somebody at the Justice Department going to be looking at that and only that. So Jeff Manasso joining us from the Chicago area. Let's start with the protest fallout to that. I think the feds are the only ones that are going to be investigating the shooting of that woman who got in the way of ICE.
Yeah, the chaos continues as Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is calling for a day of unity days after he encouraged people to get out there and protest, with activists planning more protests today against the shooting death of Renee Good Wednesday and ongoing ICE action. Local police and Hennepin County Sheriff's deputies have essentially not really been seen, to tamp down the tensions, forcing Border Patrol to step in and to limit the chaos. We saw Border Chief Greg Bovino get into it with his own clash with protesters yesterday. The groups also built a no-go zone in South Minneapolis, similar to like what we saw in Portland and Seattle back in 2020. Chaz, and maybe this one's Maz, who knows? An autonomous zone where people are not allowed to go. But it looks like we're seeing Minneapolis police maybe trying to clear things out today. We'll report back. As Minneapolis area schools are now offering home learning out of an abundance of caution.
Yeah.
Many of the teachers are the ones out protesting in Minneapolis today.
Wow.
and in the last couple of days. And as you mentioned, as state and federal investigators are at odds on who's going to investigate this ICE involved shooting. We heard from DHS Secretary Christine Noem saying that the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, essentially state police, have not been cut out of the investigation like they claim. They just have zero jurisdiction. The FBI is taking the lead on the case.
All right. I guess that's it for now. We'll see what pops up this weekend when it comes to these continued protests taking place in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
All right, pal. Thanks for the update. That's Jeff Bonasso for Fox News near Chicago.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
CarsForKids.org. Right off the car, not the kid.
Got an old or unused vehicle you need to get rid of? Donate it to the original CarsForKids.org. Towing is free, and you'll be helping kids in our communities. CarsForKids.org is the best vehicle donation charity impacting the lives of kids thanks to your vehicle donations. CarsForKids.org picks up vehicles in any condition, and you'll receive a $50 gift card. Don't delay. Donate today.
Celebrate the new year with a resolution you can easily achieve. Regrow your own natural hair with the simple one-day hair loss solution from Advanced Hair Restoration. They have changed tens of thousands of lives. Advanced Hair even guarantees your new hair will grow. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Find out if you qualify. Call 469-599-HAIR or visit advancedhair.com. Advancedhair.com.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
.710 KURV is your one and only radio station in the Valley for NFL playoff football, and we got the top pro and analyst and all of the RGV when it comes to NFL and college. Man, this is his religion, this is his passion, this is his love. Let's play some football, as they say. Sure. My friend Cesar Aguirre from McAllen Bolt, and man, we got lots of games this weekend. So here we go. On Saturday, you know what? Let's start with the college one. Let's get that one. Oregon and Indiana, right? So
Oregon and Indiana.
What do you
Indiana
think?
favored by 4, and Indiana already beat them.
Yeah.
A regular season ball game, they beat them by 10. Yeah. But it took a little bit of Indiana magic in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Oregon, you're talking about the two top quarterbacks in the nation. Mendoza and Williams, and they're both will probably go 1-2. Mendoza to the Raiders, and Williams probably going to go to the Raiders.
Yeah.
So
so much talent in the deep.
No, to the
hole.
Jets. So the Raiders and the Jets.
Another
my
deep
bad.
hole.
So going back, the point spread's 4. I'm going to take the points, but Indiana will win by 3. So take the points, take Oregon and the 4 points. But I do see Mendoza pulling it out at the end and Indiana winning by 3, 31-28. It's going to be a great game on a Friday night. So have fun, guys.
And I know this because of Cesar. Take me to school. Man, he has forgotten more trivia related to college football and the NFL than I will ever know in my life. Mark Cuban U. That's what we would call Indiana.
Yes, sir.
Mark Cuban U.
Mark Cuban from
University.
Pennsylvania, alumni of Indiana, top contributor in NIL money, over $50 million. So you want to turn around a program, go after those rich alumni.
There we go. That's the way it works. NFL football coverage begins at 3 p.m. on Saturday here on 710 KURV. We got the Rams and the Panthers. Let's start there.
Yes, it's going to be in Carolina. The Rams heavily favored, 10.5 points.
Wow.
Rams #1 offense. Carolina got in by the through the back door. They lost to Tampa, but then Atlanta won. So Carolina won the tiebreaker. Blah blah blah. So now I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to give up all those 10.5 points, and I look at the Rams to roll 28-10 over the Carolina Panthers.
All right. Green Bay, the Packers, and the Bears, 7 p.m. right here on 710 KURV.
It's a rematch of a couple of weeks ago. They would play each other. This would be the third time in 7 weeks. These two teams are so familiarized. It's not even funny. Chicago, the 1.5 point favorite, because they're playing in Chicago. Normally you get 3 points just by being a home team. So in reality, I look at a little Green Bay upset, and Green Bay is going to go to Soldier Field and march all over the Bears. Williams is going to be his first playoff game. If you remember about 3 or 4 years ago what he did to us Cowboy fans, I think he's going to do it to the Bears, and I think the Bears are going to win. It's going to be bad weather, so it's going to be low-scoring game. So it's going to be 21-14 Green Bay over the Bears.
The Bears. And all of a sudden, I had that we are the Bears shuffling crew.
Oh, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Was it 1984,
Yeah,
85? What was
85,
it? 85?
The historic 85 Bears,
that's
man.
crazy. All right.
Walter Payton.
Yeah. 710 KURV, home to all this NFL playoff action made possible by my friend Cesar Aguirre. Caesar and all the gang over at McAllen Bolt at Business 83 and 23rd in McAllen Bolt. Sunday, 11:30, the Bills and the Jaguars. What do you think?
The Bills and the Jacksonville Jaguars should be great weather. 1.5 point favorite Jackson, again, only because they're the home team. This is it for Josh Allen. He's going to...
Yeah. I'm looking to producer Freddie because that's his man crush.
Josh Allen is going to be... He's going to put on his cape, and he's going to lift this little team from Buffalo.
Okay.
And at least they're going to go through the first round. So, Buffalo's going to win. Yeah. I think Jacksonville, again, they're not ready. It's a great story. But I look at the Buffalo Bills rolling 28-13 over the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right. And that prediction from Cesar Aguirre from McAllen Bolt was Fred Cruz approved, since he loves the Bills. At 3:15 here on 710 KURV, we got the 49ers and the Eagles.
This is probably the game of the week for every football fan, San Francisco and Philadelphia. You're talking 2 front runners that are going to eliminate each other. Good for the Rams, that's another front runner. So San Francisco is going to have to travel to Philadelphia. San Francisco is a very, very good road team. San Francisco's already won a game in Philadelphia. The weather should be okay. 3-point favorite, Philly, because they're at home. And San Francisco did not have a good game against Seattle. They've had some time to recuperate, and they have actually had 10 days off. They played on a Thursday, and I am going to go with the 49ers road upset. We're going to do a 24-21 game over Philadelphia.
All right, 24-21. And remember, if you're actually going to use any of this information to call your bookie in Vegas, whatever Caesar said, do the opposite, and you should be. You should
do great.
Anyway, so. the nighttime game, 7 p.m. right here on 710 KURV. We got the Chargers taking on America's team, the Patriots.
The Patriots are
America's
back.
team.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's crazy,
man. It is crazy.
Yeah.
It's like they were. Brady left like 3 or 4 years ago, and then now he's divorced, and now he's looking at runway models. I mean, it's crazy. and New England, like if nothing happened, let's put this kid out of Carolina. Let's get the old coach back, Vrabel. And they're gonna roll.
Yeah, and these guys know how to play with fully inflated footballs. So that's the good thing about these Patriots.
I'm telling you, they don't need to cheat no more because they actually have a very decent team. They're working on all cylinders.
So you're picking the Patriots?
I am. Okay. And the points. I'm going to give the 3.5, and I'm going to say the Patriots are going to, minimum 31 points. And the Chargers right now, you know what? They're just kind of stumbling to the end. And, right now, younger brother Harbaugh is going to go console his older brother, and you never know where the older brother is going to be. He's not coming to the Cowboys, though. So we're going to look at New England 31, LA Chargers 14.
Okay, there we go.
So,
well,
those are the picks for this weekend.
Let's see.
And
we got to talk about Monday night. The Texans, right here on 710 KURV. Coverage, what is it, like 6 p.m. pregame, Freddie, or what? 6:30 pregame. We're carrying the Texans radio network, right? Vandermeer.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's very good.
Touchdown, Houston!
No. He gets all into really it, good. And I love hearing him.
Yeah,
no. He is a true Texas type of announcer. He probably started in the high school program somewhere.
So down to earth, though, bro.
No, I'm serious. He probably did like Alito games or Odessa Permian, Mojo. Friday Night Lights.
And I say he's down to earth because Freddie deals with him on a regular basis because all the contracts and the broadcast and all the business behind the scenes is Vandermeer.
Really?
It's like that dude wears all these hats. He's like front office, contract writer, approval, affiliate relations, and then he does the play-by-play.
No, and he loves the Texans.
Yeah, he does.
That's why. So if you don't want to hear Troy and Buck, just turn down the volume and listen to the Texan
radio network on Monday night.
So they're playing in Houston and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Houston is actually a road favorite, 3-point favorite. So this is kind of tough. I do want to go with Pittsburgh, but since you just convinced me of how dedicated...
No. Don't jinx the Texans. Remember, we got to do opposite. So go with the Steelers. Vato. Make Tony Farina happy listening to this interview, and he can be sad on Monday night.
So let's go with Pittsburgh then.
So we don't jinx them.
Yeah, this is a toss-up. So in other words, it's going to be a great game. So for everybody to continue the process of the picking opposite, let's go with Pittsburgh. And we're going to do 24-21 Pittsburgh over Houston.
All right. We know. Wink, wink, nod, nod. We know what that means. All right, pal.
It's a lot of fun doing this. And everybody, this is the dream weekend of any football fan. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days of some amazing football, top-tier football. The college seems to have gotten it the right way, although I think Notre Dame and UT should have been in the dance, but that's another story.
No,
again.
I agree. And Notre Dame just taking their football, going home all, I'm not going to play no more. That's pathetic.
Anyway.
But I was telling Freddie, hey, what happened to Ohio State? What happened to the Aggies? What happened to Texas Tech? They were so up there, and big old goose egg naranjas. The volleyball team probably would have scored more.
Well, the thing is we're talking about kids that are anywhere between 19 and 22. So it is what it is. You see a lot of blown coverages. You see mental mistakes, offsides and legal motion. And
Are you saying they're nervous? Is that what you're saying? They're a bunch of wet fools that are
I
nervous?
think sometimes the moment is a little bit bigger than what they're used to.
Yeah.
By the time that we look at NFL, you look at seasoned veterans, guys that are 7-8 years in it, and they know the do's and the don'ts and so forth. But that's what makes college. Somebody said, why don't they just pay everybody the same in college? And well, then it wouldn't be college football. You want to see the pros, you go to the pros. You really want to see the future pros, go to the state championship games in Dallas. You want to see future pros and what pro football looks like. Go to the state championships at AT&T at Jerryville, and you will be amazed.
What you got over at McAllen Bolt, man? Tell the guys working for a living.
We're starting the year off right. We want to know that you guys are the reason for the season. Every season is the important season. Every season is because of you being our customer. And by you letting other people know where we're at, what we do, and how we take care of you, you are the reason why you are the number one customer that we want. So thank you so much for supporting McAllen Bolt all these years, almost 50 years. And looks like we're not going anywhere, and we'll see what happens with my predictions.
And we appreciate your support and getting all this NFL stuff on the radio. And I love speaking with you. You're a great interview, brother, when it comes to all this wonderful stuff. And then before you know it, we'll be talking Final Four. Hopefully the Cougars will be there, or somebody from Texas will be there towards the end. That's Cesar Aguirre. Cesar Aguirre from McAllen Bolt at 23rd and Business 83 in McAllen. My friend Cesar. He's been there like a generation, like 30, 40 years. You know why, Freddie? Because he hasn't figured out how to make money on the spread. He gets all the predictions wrong. Let's see here. In news that you need to know, you guys are at business. Check this out. Trade deficit for October. The latest numbers. Trade deficit narrowed, as some would say, unexpectedly. What? What's going on? Yeah, we're sending more stuff out of the U.S. to be sold over there than taking stuff here into this country. From almost $50 billion down to $29 billion. It collapsed in the month of October. This is the Sergio Show. It's 10 o'clock.
History's unfolding, and you're listening to it on News Talk 710 KURV, Edinburgh, McAllen, Harlingen, Brownsville.